Hi everyone, this is James, G0SEC in the shack, and just thought I'd do another shack video. And let me just turn one of my radios down here. Yep, in the shack here. Thought I'd do another quick video. Done a few amendments to my shack, put a new, added on a bit of shelving so it matches the other side of the shack here. I've got one there, if you see, and I thought I'd just do another unit, so I've added it a bit on. So it's a little bit longer, and so I've done that side there to match. So basically mainly for magazines and stuff, and bits and pieces. Thought I'd just do another quick video. I've still got the 3 monitors in the shack. The great thing about having 3 monitors is I usually use one for my logging, which is usually the one immediately above the radio. And let me just bring up my logging program. Great thing about this logging program is it also connects to the radio, but it also works with my my rotator, which is the G01000 DXC. It's a great rotator. I like the way it's got speed control on the rotor, and great for quickly turning the antenna around quickly. Got a power supply there, and one of the meters I use for HF just to test the power output, etc. There's a couple of those 2 things you see there in the corner are my new 2 fiberglass masts, and telescopic masts. They go up to 30 foot each. That's for the new dipole antenna I'm going to be putting up very shortly. And I've got a couple of power supplies in the shack. One that I don't really use a lot, which is the NiCi, or NiCi, I can't remember how you pronounce it now, DPS 300GL. And I like this power supply because it's not switch mode, and but that one there is switch mode, but it's nice and quiet, so usually use that to run the 847. And got an 847 by Yaesu. So this camera doesn't really like the blue brightness. It's not actually that bright, it just picks it up on the camera. It got the 847 about a couple of months ago, and it's really nice little radio. I mainly use it for 2 meters and 70 sems, and the occasional audio checks on when I'm using the 7800. The ATU below it seems to do a good job. Loads up anything really. And got a mixer. So the lights on the mixer look really bright, but this camera, it's sort of picking it up, and it's not actually that bright in real life. But for some reason this camera doesn't like it, and it's not greatest light in the shack here. The main radio is the ICOM 7800. Had it for about 6 months now, and I really love using this radio. This is a really. Let me just turn up the radio a minute. And this is a beautiful transceiver, it really is. And it's a really nice bit of kit. Love this radio. And the other bit of equipment I got in the shack is the professional mini disc recorder. These are quite rare. Very rare actually. You won't find these often, and these are about £2,500 to £3,000 new. So this one's in immaculate condition, mint condition. Does a really good job for record and playback. Underneath it is my downward expander, which I use for one of my audio racks. And the microphone I use is a Heil PR781 on the Heil boom. And the audio, I'll just tell you about the audio. It goes from the microphone to the mic 2200. Gives it a nice sort of warm sound for the audio. Then from the mic 2200 it goes to the DEC 2496. I don't think you can see my DEC settings. I'll just bring it up. I don't think you can see them. Oh, you can a little bit. Look, the camera doesn't like the display, but it's not as bright as the display is nice and kind on the eyes in real life, but the camera doesn't really like it that much. But that's the deck 2496. Let me just put that back. Deck 2496, and then from the deck 2496 it goes to the mixer. The mixer I use for all kinds of different things. It's an essential bit of kit for audio. I love this mixer because on any channel you can route your output to whatever you want on your output. And what I tend to do is I have the RX audio from both radios going to the sub output, this one here, and the main output I usually have the microphones, which is down this side here, and the microphones I can send to the main output. Also got the mini disc recorder, which I use for recording playback facility. I've also got that going through, and can monitor it here as well. And that can I can send that to the main output by touching this button behind here. And if you can see that, there's a button there. When I push that button, it plays it back to through the over the air. And I like this mixer because it's also got 4 equalizers per channel, and it's got the high, the mid-range, and it's also got frequency on the mid-range, and it's also got low. And in conjunction with the audio racks, you can really tailor your audio to exactly how you want it, and have a quite a good audio. So very, very pleased with the audio. And yep, that's the mixer. I use it for quite a lot of things, and you know, it looks a bit sort of daunting at first, I guess, to someone that's not really into mixers or hasn't got one. But basically, it just reroutes the different audio and to the right sort of output. And the audio from the radios goes to a little amplifier before, and it actually goes from the radios to the mixer. Then from the mixer on the sub out, it goes to this little amplifier here. It's only a small little amplifier, but it does give me 80 watts, which is quite sufficient. And in fact, I don't know if you can see the dial, I've only got it up very, it's only not even halfway up, and it's a really good sound. The sound is coming from 2 B&W speakers on the wall, and it's in stereo, so it gives me a great sound in the shack. And they're really reasonably small speakers, but they do a really good job, and they're really nice quality speakers, being that they're made by B&W. And still have the same keyboard, which is a backlit keyboard. I can change the keyboard from the computer to the radio, and it will come back on again. It's backlit, and there we are. It comes back on, and now it goes back to the PC. It'll come back on. Yep, there it is. And I can also switch it across to the mini disc recorder. And the advantage is obviously I can label discs, like I got one there of my friend G0VHS. I got we're always doing sort of audio tests and so forth, and I've got a mini disc which is just for my friend's audio. So I can obviously keep all his audio transmissions and play it back to him over the air, so he can set up his own audio. He's a bit of an audio buff like myself, and it's a really handy gadget to have. This unit here is a sound card, external sound card. It's just far superior than that of the ones that you get in the inside your PC internally. And I usually got it set to about 196 kilohertz for the sound card. It really is pretty good. And also the microphone from the mixer for things like Skype and Echo Link and so forth. They go from the mixer to this sound card in the back of the sound card here, and obviously that goes to the PC. Obviously it's a different setting to the ones that I have for the radio equipment. But I use the same microphone for the both radios, from the 7800 and the 847, and you know, it's pretty good setup. It serves me well. I get asked quite a lot of questions about my desk, lots of YouTube videos, etc. And like now and again I get an email, and someone, sorry, it's my milkshake there. I'm just going to take another sip of it actually. I get asked quite a lot of questions about my desk and where did I get it, and the answer to that is you can't get this desk anywhere. I made it myself, and as you can see it's really purposely built right down to the other side of the room there. And see if I can get a decent sort of snapshot of my desk for you. Let me see if you can see that, and it's purposely built by myself just to accommodate all my radio equipment, right down to the sort of rotor. This here sort of slides out for the rotor, and I can sort of just push it back in, and just things to make life easier. And had to put in some shelving not long ago, so I had to join it and make it longer. It's actually longer than it was in the past, and it used to sort of, this bit here used to come down to about here, but because I had new equipment like the mixer, which is an absolute asset, and find it really hard without the mixer now, to be honest. The actual mixer is built into the desk. I don't know if you can see under there. I've still got to tack some wires underneath the desk. It's all the plugs fit into a mains filter, and the PC plugs and the radio, all the radio plugs are totally separated. And the reason for that is if I ever have to turn the power off because of like lightning or something like that, I can just hit the switch and it's totally isolated. And but I can still come in there and use the PC. There's two very strong bars underneath the desk. I don't know if you can see them here. They're very, very strong. They're solid bars to obviously help with the weight load. But the actual mixer is built into the desk. The mixer was sort of about this high, so by dropping it into the desk, it lowers it down to about, I think it's just over an inch. So it's at a nice operating height for when I'm at my radios, etc. I get asked all the time about where did I get my desk, and the long and short of it is you can't get this desk anywhere. Purposely built, even down to the last things like here I keep my mini discs, and it's just purposely built for mini discs, that bit there. And like where I've got my my external sound card, you can see I've purposely built it, so it's all been sort of planned out, and it's a very, very, very good quality desk. And but the top part of it, the actual desk, originally came from a desk that I had. I don't know if you can see that I got the cupboards here. But that was a desk that I had, and from the top bit upwards, I've made it myself. And it's all like, you know, high spec beech. It's really, really nice, and I don't know if you can see there, but it's nice and shiny, and it looks stunning in real life. It really does, I must say. But I've worked hard on it, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I like things to be in order and clean and tidy. I'm not one of these guys that has you know, a dirty shack or a untidy shack. Let's say untidy is the word, I think. but there it is, and it's nice to get in here at the weekends and have a bit of time and play radio, etc. I got asked the other day, what's this thing in the corner? Well, this thing in the corner is air conditioning unit, and it's pretty good. It does a good job. It keeps nice and cool in here, and especially when everything's running in here and the door's all shut and I'm in the room on my own, you know, it can get a bit hot in here when I've been on the radio for a couple of hours. So but anyway, hopefully this will give you an insight to my shack. And the reason I got 3 monitors, I was touching on that earlier, is one is connected to the radio, one is my logging program, and one let me just click on this icon here. Let me just bring up Echolink, and you'll see that Echolink comes up on the other screen. So I can have Echolink on this one here, and then I can have my logging program here, and the radio's usually on the right hand side. I've got a switcher box at the back of the shack, and I can just switch any monitor, anything I want. I can have this one over here, or I can have it over here, and I can sort of play around with it. But usually this is the setup I have. I usually have the radio monitor, the extended That's exactly what's on the radio. I usually have that on the right hand side for comfort more than anything, and then I usually have the logging program above me. It's nice to, when you're calling out, you just put in the call sign and the beam heading change on the antenna outside. The antenna, I have 3 antennas. One's I have a lattice tower in the garden, and I have a Force 12 6-element Force 12 antenna, and which is for 10, 15, 17 and 20 meters. And then above the 6-element Force 12 HF beam is a 6-element 6-meter beam, and then above that, that's about 8 foot, 10 foot above the HF beam, and then above that, about 5 or 6 foot above the 6-meter beam, is a collinear for 2 meters and 70 sems. And very soon is that's what these masts are for here. They're very, very good. They're telescopic. Just quickly go over here. They're telescopic. Just undo them and just lift them up and just lock them in place. And that will be for my my long wire inverted L antenna for 40 and 80, and it will also do the other bands as well. So I'm looking forward to doing some comparisons, and I'll have an antenna switch which would take it from the 847 to the 7800, so I can do some playing around. I'm looking forward to playing around with the new wire antenna. Have one on one frequency and one on the other, the beam on one and the long wire on the other, and do some comparisons. Obviously it's not going to be as strong as the beam or powerful like the beam. The beam is excellent. I've worked all over the world on it, and I don't think I'll ever change it. It's really quite directional, and being that it's gives me 6 elements, but there you have it. Do check me out on QRZ. You'll see some more details about my station on QRZ if you just type in my call sign G0SEC. And anyway, I'm glad that I could share what I'm doing here and the way that I've got my shack. Maybe give you some ideas and what you can do, and if you put your mind to it. I've just been called by my ex-wife, so that dinner's ready, so I'm going to go and get my tea. 7 3s from G0SEC. Look forward to working on the bands. Bye bye.